Welcome to the Impact Exchange, where real estate, leadership, and real estate financing meet with a little personality. I'm Jordan Thorpe.
And I'm Ronnie Esparza.
Every episode, we break down the moves, the money, and the mindset that help you navigate today's market with clarity and confidence.
All in a way that actually makes sense. So let's get into it.
Jordan, so how are you today?
Peachy keen, Ronnie. How about you?
I'm good. What are we going to talk about here today?
You tell me.
All right. Well, I thought maybe our viewers like to know what happens after an offer is accepted. So,
That's a good one.
say I give you the completely underwritten approved letter. I've already verified assets. I've verified income. I've verified employment. I've verified everything. We are good to go. I hand you the underwritten approval letter. You're out shopping now. They find
The one.
the one, right? And they go and they see this house and they love it.
It's a winner.
Yeah, it's a winner.
Winner,
So
winner,
tell
chicken
me,
dinner.
you submit the offer. Well, actually, you submit the offer. Just take us through that process once you submit the offer.
Okay. So I think even before that, what we do, we sit down, we talk about what the offer means, what the definitions are. We walk them through, this is how many days you have for your physical contingency, your investigation contingency, review of seller documents. So we define all of that, set them up with a really strong foundation. And of course, their question is always, when it comes to money, what's going to be my payment? How much will my payment be per month? So we definitely talk through scenarios with you, and we're always giving estimates because, as we know, it's not done until we're right there and everything's locked in.
Right.
So once that's set, approval's in hand, they found the one, we submit the offer to the listing agent. Before I submit the offer, I call the listing agent.
Okay.
I want to get as much information from them as possible. What's your seller looking for in an offer? Do they need a seller in possession so they retain the house after we close for a certain amount of time? Is it 29 days or less? Is it 30 days or more? Because depending on that, you have different forms.
Okay.
29 days or less, you can do a seller in possession. Essentially, it's a license for the seller to retain possession while not being the legal owner anymore.
And tell us just maybe a little bit about that. How would that? Why would somebody want to stay in their house?
Yeah. So when I have a listing, if the seller hasn't already vacated the home, one of our biggest negotiations is in possession, because if they're having a concurrent sale, they're buying, but they have to sell in order to buy.
Got it.
I want to give them time to be able to move into their new house instead of, oh, well, it's closing on this day. You need to have your entire house packed in a U-Haul the same day that you close. And you might not be closed on your new purchase yet. So give
You don't
everyone a
want
little
them
bit of
living in a
breathing
U-Haul.
time. Yeah, no one wants to be sleeping in a U-Haul. That's the biggest reason why I'll do a seller in possession for a listing. Most of the time, that's what is seen too. And then after I gather as much information as possible, I relay that to my clients. We formulate the offer from there. We always want to meet where the seller feels like they have a win and the buyer feels like they have a win. So it's feel good all around, and it's not just one side completely dominated.
Good for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's going to depend on the market too.
Sure.
Where we are, what's the market of the moment. Submit the offer. Let's just give it, we have a 15-day investigation contingency, a 10-day appraisal, and a 12-day loan. Sound good? Okay. So we submit the offer to them. Now we start negotiations back and forth. Seller could take the offer, accept it as it is. The seller could issue a counteroffer where they accept some parts of it, but negotiate other parts of it. From there, the buyer can accept the seller's counteroffer, or they could issue their own counteroffer. And this is, remember that game, what was it, Pong? on Atari, where it goes
Oh yeah.
bing,
Yeah.
just back and forth, and it moves up and down. I think of it kind of like that.
Okay.
We're going until the right fit happens, and then boom. And then all of a sudden, it's
Done.
exactly.
Okay. And
We
they
get into
accept the
escrow.
offer. Okay.
Acceptance is day 0. The following day starts day 1 of the calendar.
And that's very important.
Yes.
Because on the
Timing.
lending side, we need to know if we get the letter or the acceptance, at night, it still counts that day, because then the next day we have 3 days to send out the disclosures.
Right.
So that's very important.
Yeah, all the way around, because for us, it's the same way. Even if they accept it at 11 o'clock at night and we
Right.
receive it then, that's acceptance. That's day 0.
Right.
So the clock has started. After that, I am talking to my clients and saying, okay, here's what we're going to be looking at in our investigation contingency. Let's order your home inspection and your pest inspection. And then, of course, depending on what it is, where the property is, if it's on septic, if it's on public utilities, if you're just buying land, if you want a soils test, whatever it is that they're wanting, we go over that. And I reach out to different vendors and I provide a list to my clients of the vendors that I have worked with in the past. But I always ask, do you have someone in the field that you want to use? Because if there's that relationship already, I want to honor that.
Of course.
And if I haven't worked with that specific vendor yet, it's a chance to forge a new opportunity.
Right.
From there, they're shopping pricing, what they're doing. They pick the vendor, they set up the day that works best. We let the seller's agent know we're going to have our home inspection this day. And what we're seeing a lot of the time now too is sellers doing their inspections up front and putting them in their disclosure packet. That doesn't mean that the buyer cannot do their own inspection though. In fact, we encourage the buyer to do their own inspection and not just rely on the seller's inspection.
I'm going to get into the gray area here with
Sure.
that.
Sure.
Because I've had buyers where they take the sellers, but then they go and they get their own. Completely two different
Packages.
packages.
Yeah.
The seller's inspection is a lot less repairs than the buyers. So that's probably the reason why they should maybe go and get their own.
And think of it as a second set of eyes. Sure, this inspector could go and look at it and they might not see what the buyer's inspector sees.
Right.
So it's always great to have a second set of eyes on it.
Okay.
But that does happen. We see that. So from there, we get the home inspection, general home inspection. We'll get the pest inspection back too. And depending on what's notated in it, we can get the appropriate trade out there to look. Sometimes people will see, what's a super common one? The home inspector gets up on the roof. They say, okay, well, you have some shingles missing or there's deterioration. They notate the general comment in their home inspection. So we get a licensed roofing contractor out there to give an estimate on what the cost would be to fix that. Or if they determine in their opinion, hey, your roof's at the functional end of life, we would recommend a full repair. What's the cost of that? It all depends on the scenario. So let's say that they give a cost estimate to replace the roof for $30,000.
Cool.
From there, we can then go and negotiate with the seller and say, hey, we're in contract for this price, but there's $30,000 of a roof there's a $30,000 roof that needs to be replaced. We can ask for the seller to have the work completed. We can ask for a credit in lieu of the work being done, or we can ask for a price reduction. Again, it opens up negotiation, and it's not just oh, the roof. It could be a multitude of things. It could be the roof. It could be the foundation. It could be a cracked window. One of a really common one we see, gasket seals in windows, and you'll see condensation on the inside. A seal's failed, so getting a quote for a replacement of that.
And I think also on those inspection reports, if we see on the lender side where our appraisal department sees, a lot of damage on the roof, will require for it to be
Right.
fixed prior to funding the loan.
Right.
So
right.
it does depend on the severity of the repair that will determine whether we require it to be repaired or not.
That's
So,
it.
Yeah.
Another thing that we really have to look at is the insurance, the insurability of the house too, because not only is it an investigation, it's also part of the loan. You can't have a loan without the insurance.
Correct.
So we're running all of that simultaneously. And in a perfect world, we get that back. The buyer chooses their quote. Everything's good to go. Now we're having to jump through a little bit more set of hoops with different insurance plans in California. So we're running all of that. The appraisal gets ordered, which is another contingency. The appraiser comes out, hopefully not at the same time when inspections are going on.
Yeah.
And the appraiser is going to give their opinion of value of what the home's value on the open market is worth in its current condition. And then we're always hoping that it comes in at least at value, at contract price. If it doesn't, we can negotiate down based on that. Seller says no, the buyer still has their contingency. They could walk away from it. Once the buyer has fully satisfied themselves, backing up to the investigation and the physical portion, once they've fully satisfied their investigations, they have no further questions, we've negotiated everything based on that, they can do what's called a release. They can release the contingency, which has to be in writing. And from that point on, it means that they can no longer go back and say, oh, well, you know what? I actually don't like this. I'm going to walk away. Once you release that contingency and then you try and cancel based on that, your deposit would become what's considered at risk, your earnest money deposit. So we explain that to the buyer up front too. There's a form that they sign. We're walking you through it.
So, okay, from a buyer's perspective, I'm asking, my contingencies, I've written off my contingencies and, the inspections, right?
Right.
The appraisal comes in. I haven't signed off on the contingency appraisal.
Right.
Can I use that appraisal contingency to add something to a repair?
No,
Okay, got it.
because the appraisal is independent of
Gotcha.
the physical.
Gotcha.
Think of it this way. Your investigation is for the buyer's satisfaction. The appraisal is for the lender's satisfaction.
Got it.
Because not only is the
Okay.
appraiser assessing the risk, they're assessing whether the loan to value is there.
Right.
Because the bank is only going to lend you within a loan to value parameter.
Right.
If you're at 90-10, the bank's only loaning you 90% of $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
If the appraiser's opinion of value comes in at $900,000, $100,000 less,
Right.
the bank's only lending you 90% of $900,000.
That's correct. I should have. Oh yeah, that was a loan to value question on the.
See episode 8. So the appraisal comes in, it's at value. You can sign off on it. If it comes in under value, we go back and we renegotiate. If it comes in over value, it's all fine and dandy. We're good. You're moving in with built-in equity.
Mm-hmm.
We like that.
Can the seller see the appraisal or ask the appraised value? Hey, what did the appraised value come in at? And if the appraised value, say for example, purchase price is 500 and it came in at 525, can the seller say, well, now I want to increase my price?
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
So, and there's mixed schools of thought on this.
Mm-hmm.
The seller and the seller's agent are not entitled to the appraisal because it's not it's not necessarily material fact.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't affect the desirability of the home.
Got it.
Now, if you're asking the price to be lowered, you do have to submit the appraisal showing
Got
that
it.
the opinion of value came in less,
Got it.
because now it does become material fact.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. I'm asking these questions for you guys.
And I'm answering them. We're sassy today. So sign off on that.
What did you eat this morning?
Coffee.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Sign off on that. All is good. Now we're waiting for the loan to be fully approved. That's your domain over here. Underwriting is saying, okay, we've done the desktop underwriting. Everything looks good up front. We're going to do one more verification. We're going to double check that the appraised value is there, verification of employment, all that good stuff. Everything should be good. No surprises, because there was no surprises up front.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's good, we're smooth sales. You can issue a clear to close. And from there, what the buyer can do is release all of their contingencies, which means you're really just now in a waiting period for funding and recording to happen, for close of escrow to happen. If the buyer, let's say, gets cold feet, you can still cancel the contract, but there's a clause in our contract called liquidated damages. The seller can retain a certain amount as liquidated damages if cancellation occurs, and the seller is entitled to enforce that clause.
Got it. And is there like a set amount, a set percentage, is there anything set in stone as far as the dollar amount?
So our contract says that the seller can keep up to 3% of the purchase price, which happens to be usually we'll put in 3% of the earnest money deposit as the earnest money deposit. And when you're representing a seller, the reason that we would like to see 3% sitting in escrow is because you're not having to go and chase someone to collect the liquidated damages. It's sitting in escrow until everyone agrees.
It's good practice to have them do 3% instead of 1%.
Right.
Gotcha.
Not always the case, though. Sometimes buyers don't have that 3% sitting there, and they're using a program that enables them to have a lot more funding.
Gifts.
So every scenario is unique.
Yeah.
Once clear to close happens, is issued, we're waiting. We're organizing sign-off times. Seller signs off, buyer signs off. Docs get submitted to the lender. Escrow company sends them in. They request funding for a certain date. I'm on the phone with the lender, making sure everything's good, with the clients, hyping them up, making sure they're still excited, coordinating all of the sign-off times, where they're going to sign off, who the notary is going to be. Are they signing off at the title office, escrow officers doing it? What's going on? So doing a lot of logistics coordination.
Okay.
Sign-off happens. Documents go back to the lender. Documents go back to escrow. Escrow verifies them, submits the required documents to the lender, requests funding for a certain day. Once the lender sends over the wire, it's sitting in escrow. And think of escrow as like a big picnic basket. Seller puts in the title to the house. Buyer's putting money in. Lender puts in the rest of the money to complete the puzzle. Seller gets the money. Buyer gets title.
Okay.
So there's two types of closing. There's a financial closing, lender funds, and then there's a legal closing, which is recording. Once it's on record at the county office, you're the official owner of that property. Escrow is fully closed, and I can hand you your keys.
So just because I funded the loan doesn't mean it's yours.
Correct.
Got it.
Because a lender could fund on Friday or any day, let's say, but we missed the recording cutoff deadline. So it might not record until the next day. We always try and fund and record the same day.
Okay. Yeah. We typically try to fund in the morning so that they are recording by noon, 1:00.
Yeah.
Stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
But that's
good.
really like the life of the transaction. And after that comes the fun part. I hand you your keys. Everything's great. You love your house. We get the picture up.
Then we're invited to the barbecue.
We're invited to the barbecue.
Yeah. Kids, birthday parties.
Everything. I mean, we work really
we
closely
essentially become
with.
a part of the family.
Yeah,
You know what I
we
mean?
kind of
if you
do.
did a good job.
Yeah,
Right? We always do a
yeah.
good job, though.
Yeah.
So that is. I do want to ask a question here. So
Mm-hmm.
all loan contingencies have been signed off.
Mm-hmm.
We, as the lender, 3 to 5 days prior to funding,
Mm-hmm.
we will do a credit check to make sure that nothing comes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't buy a car or anything.
Well, let's go with furniture because that's
Okay.
happened in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, loan contingencies have been signed off. Everything's good to go. We pull the credit report and boom, $10,000 in appliances, new furniture. Now they do not qualify. Exactly.
Yeah.
What happens if, and I got to call you immediately,
Yeah.
Jordan?
We get on the
Mr.
phone right away.
Mr. Customer, Jordan, we have an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, on my side, right, I can say, okay, you're gonna need bring in more money to bring it
Right.
down.
Right.
We've got to go back into underwriting, so we got to redo, kind of redo the loan, right, to put more money down to get the ratios down. But let's say, for example, they don't have any money down, and they no longer qualify.
Mm.
Is that when there's a risk of losing their deposit or risk of being, the risk of losing money?
I would say yes, because
Got it.
all contingencies have been signed off.
Got it.
And for my clients, at least, I have a very good pamphlet and very good booklet that walks them through the do's and do nots in a real estate transaction. That's one of the biggest ones. No new lines of credit, no new big purchases. Don't spend your down payment. Don't co-sign. Nothing. If it comes to credit, the only things you need to be doing are leaving it alone or improving it. That's it. If they can't get a gift, they've exhausted all options, and the only option is to cancel the contract because they don't qualify anymore, we have to go to the seller's agent and say, hey, this is what happened. They want to cancel. What is your seller wanting to do? And
Have you ever had that happen?
No, knock on wood. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very stressful. It's very stressful because the seller has a legal right per a
Yeah.
contract
Yeah.
under a liquidated damages clause. Now, I'm not an attorney,
Yeah.
but contracts are a legally binding
Yeah.
document.
Right.
So,
So, if you're listening, don't go out and get new credit before you get the keys. So, because we can and we will unfund a loan if we have to. So, be very careful with that.
yeah,
Wow. That was
that definitely wasn't
Yeah.
ending on a high note,
no, but
but it happens.
it rarely happens. It rarely happens.
Mhm.
But just make sure that you're not, pulling new credit and just like I think that's going to be another episode where we talk about what not to do
Do's and do nots.
while
Yeah.
you're in the loan transaction or while you're in the loan process. So, well, Jordan, I think that'll be it for today, listeners. We thank you for joining us today. If you can like, subscribe, and follow, we'd really appreciate it. And I will be putting down our information on how you can get in touch with us on Instagram. And again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.